This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, Southland experiences a decline in building consents. We find out what's causing it. A breakdown in union negotiations results in junior doctors planning strike action all over the country. And a blind Dunedin woman creates a podcast to educate others and share her love of Braille. Good evening, I'm Rebecca Dupree. The number of building consents being granted in Southland is down significantly. Local leaders say it's due to the global dairy crisis inhibiting the region's economy, but there is a positive outlook.
There's less building going on in Southland. When comparing August this year to August last year, building consents for new houses were down 65%. That's across a region taking up 11% of New Zealand's landmass. Southland District Council's Bruce Halligan says it's due to the struggling dairy industry.
It's a series of small towns and they are quite closely connected to that rural economy, and as you obviously know, things have been somewhat subdued in the rural sector with lower dairy payout, and there's several $100 million that previously was spinning around our local economies that isn't now.
He says not only have falling dairy prices affected development in the region, but the growing popularity of online shopping has taken business away from local stores in small towns. Earthquake strengthening requirements have also likely impacted the rate of building. Halligan says it's all working to stall new development in the region. However, he says there's still construction going on, it's just more likely to be renovations.
Probably as opposed to people building new dwellings or new dairy sheds, for instance, which kept us very busy, the early 2000s sort of period when there was a lot of dairy conversion activity happening. Now we're probably more noticing people doing dwelling alterations or doing smaller scale additions and alterations to the houses.
Despite the lack of new buildings, Halligan says things are starting to look up in Southland. Today's Quantitative Value House Price Index says the average house price in the region is up 5.3% on this time last year. And Halligan says tourism is leading to more building in places like Te Anau.
The tourism sector has been going on quite nicely, and the townships that are more tourist orientated, lots of Te Anau for instance, are certainly noticing some increased activity across a range of areas, so hopefully that's positive.
He says the District Council is trying to make the process of applying for building consents as easy as possible and is working with communities to encourage new developments. He says as small town economic confidence grows, more people should be willing to invest and build. Ruby Spink, The South Today.
The Dunedin City Council is in negotiations over a 5-star hotel planned for the CBD. The council has signed a memorandum of understanding with a developer to progress the project. The hotel is earmarked for a car parking space in Falul Street, which the developer has exclusive rights to. The hotel is expected to cost up to $75 million and comprise 18 stories. 3 of those would be below ground. Plans include 200 bedrooms and 42 apartments, as well as restaurants and public hot pools under a transparent, retractable roof. A decision on whether to build is expected by the end of the year. Resident doctors are preparing to strike for 48 hours at the end of the month. They're seeking safer rosters and hours through a collective employment agreement, and they say the situation in the south isn't great.
The hardest walk. The country's resident doctors are planning to walk away from their patients for a 48-hour strike later this month. The Southern spokesman for the Resident Doctors Association says the hours junior doctors work may be fatal.
We have clear evidence now. People are saying, I have fallen asleep coming home after these shifts. And we know that can be an outcome for it, and we don't want that to be an outcome, and that's why we're taking such a strong stance at the moment.
The Southern DHB's hospitals at Invercargill, Dunedin and Waitakere are going to be affected. Erskine says the Doctors Association asked members how they were coping with the rostering, with many reporting it to be dangerous. He maintains the 48-hour strike action is a last resort.
There has been some progress. We've been working really hard alongside the DHBs the last 4 years to try and get rid of some of these grueling shifts, but we haven't seen enough progress is the main thing.
He says rosters and conditions vary across the different health boards. with the Tairāwhiti DHB being good and the Southern District Health Board being one of the worst.
It's not consistent across New Zealand though, and our argument as well, why do Dunedin residents have to have an unsafe rostering system where their doctor's tired and can crash their car coming home, whereas Gisborne residents don't have to worry about that.
If an agreement can't be reached on a nationwide scale, resident doctors will walk off the job for 48 hours from 7 a.m. on Tuesday, October 18, returning at 7 a.m. on Thursday, October the 20th. All 20 district health boards will be affected by the complete withdrawal of labour by NZRDA union members. Darryl Baser, The South Today.
And the Southern DHB says its focus is on maintaining emergency services and providing urgent care, although elective surgeries and outpatient clinics will be affected by the strike. University of Otago researchers are shedding new light on the historic decline in population of kakapo. They've found European colonisation is to blame, as that's when predators like stoats were introduced into the country. The kakapo is the world's only flightless and nocturnal parrot. Before, European colonisation numbers were high, even though early Polynesians hunted kakapo. There are now only 155 living individuals, and they're intensively managed on offshore island sanctuaries. This week is National Blind Week, and for one Dunedin woman it's the perfect time to launch her Braille education show. The first episode of Julie Woods' innovative podcast was aired on Otago Access Radio today, and she's hoping more people will discover and share her love of the tactile reading system.
Affectionately known as That Blind Woman, Julie Woods' love affair with Braille has led to a new and exciting opportunity in broadcasting. The Braille Biscuit Show is a 26-episode podcast series recorded at Otago Access Radio and supported by the Blind Foundation.
So I fell in love with Braille, Louis Braille himself, and also the Braille community and what Braille does to your life. So it was really a love affair that I wanted to put on the radio.
Braille is based on 6 dots, and Woods says it's been translated beautifully into the digital world. But she believes less people are learning it because of the use of speech technology.
So the idea of the show is to remind everybody that it is a literacy tool that is still important, and also it can be a load of fun, which is why we've incorporated the Braille Biscuits into the show.
A very hungry hand puppet will make an appearance on each show, helping Woods deliver her message.
And the Braille Biscuit monster, yes, he has come to help me. He's come to learn all about the Braille Biscuit alphabet, but he really likes those Braille biscuits, so he's been enjoying them a little bit too much.
The radio show is also podcast, as well as being available on YouTube. And the Otago Access Radio station manager says the changing media landscape has meant it's connecting with more people online.
We're just really aware that we're getting a huge amount of listeners to podcasts of our radio shows, so we broadcast on FM and AM, but programs have a whole extra life as podcasts, and also people are really plugged in with social media.
The show is aimed at all ages, and That Blind Woman wants people to discover that you don't just have to read with your eyes, but you can also read with your fingers. Dee Karen, The South Today.
Still to come on The South Today, recent negative comments prompt midwives to gather en masse, and animal rights activists protest greyhound racing.
Every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
When it's time to say goodbye to your pet, Heaven Sent Pet Cremations are here to help you through this difficult experience. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today for their care and guidance. Phone 489 2274.
Hello, my name is Conrad Stedman. I'm 46 years old, married with 2 beautiful children, a former policeman of 10 years in South Auckland and Dunedin, and a business owner. I offer strong leadership with no hidden agenda. I am committed to serving our community. I am your voice for our community, for our future. Vote 1 for Conrad Stedman. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Bruce Fairhurst. The City Council is a giant decision-making machine, and every year they make thousands of decisions that affect ratepayers, some in a small way, some in a large way. It's really important that those decisions are fair, made in a democratic way, and made with accurate and reliable information. I've lived my entire life in Dunedin, and I love it here. I've been working in the construction industry all of that time. I've seen massive changes in the consent process, making it difficult to build or improve your property. I see opportunities to make this process much more user-friendly. Vote Bruce Fairhurst with a 1. I'm looking forward to joining a talented team on the council this term and making Dunedin the best city it can possibly be.
Hi, I'm Doug Hall. I stood for council in the 2013 election and got elected. The achievements I've been part of in the last 3 years have been of a great benefit to Dunedin City. Reducing debt, improving contracts and better liaison with the general public. To further reduce debt and better management of all contracts. Vote Doug Hall, first choice for council.
Oh, help! Don't suffer in silence. Call Sunny Chin, Chi Master Body Technician for structural, muscular, emotional bodywork. Phone 03 4250 606 for all your pain relief.
Hi, I'm Dave Yardley and I'm standing for the Otago Regional Council. Two of Otago's greatest resources are our outstanding natural landscape and our capability for agriculture. Getting the balance right between preservation of that landscape and intensification of farming is a real challenge. To meet that challenge, we need a firm understanding of both our environment and our land-based businesses. I have that understanding to ensure that our landscape and farming can coexist in harmony for generations to come. A vote for Dave Yardley is a vote for reason, balance and integrity.
Voting in this year's local body elections closes at noon on Saturday the 8th of October. Your voting papers must be in the hands of the electoral officer by this date and not in the mail if your vote is to count. If you've not enrolled or received your voting papers, you may still cast a special vote. Visit the DCC Customer Services Centre in the Octagon or phone 477 4000 before noon on Saturday the 8th of October. Remember, you have the right to vote. Don't be left out. Vote today.
Come one, come all to the Oamaru Victorian Heritage Celebrations, a year to reflect on the intriguing world of medicine in the Victorian era. 16th to the 20th of November, www.vhc.co.nz for more information.
Welcome back. Midwives are banding together in the face of recent research casting the profession in a bad light. About 100 midwives, mothers and supporters gathered in Dunedin's Octagon at midday to celebrate their work, and they say it's a tough job, but they love it.
Uniting for a common cause. Midwives, mothers and supporters were flying purple balloons in Dunedin's Octagon today following a damning report by the University of Otago. The recent research suggests babies born under midwife-led care suffer more incidents of damage than those whose mothers are looked after by doctors.
We're often represented in very negative ways and we don't believe we deserve it. So we just wanted a celebration of what we do with the women that we care for and the babies that we've helped birth, and just move on past the negative comments to make people understand that we do work hard and we do a really good job.
This informal event was about championing the good work that midwives do and boosting morale among the community. Donnelly says she's been a lead maternity carer midwife for about 18 years, and although she loves the job, it's not easy. She says for years midwives have been fighting for pay increases to no avail.
We love what we do. We love the care we give. We love the ability to be able to give the care we give, but we feel very saddened at every level by the treatment we get.
Green Party co-leader Matiria Ture was among those taking part in the public showcase. Donnelly says she's not surprised so many people turned out in solidarity.
We have a very supportive community in Dunedin. We give really good care and our women really appreciate it and we get really good bonds going. We feel like we do give world-class care or world-class beyond. If we've had customers or women or clients from overseas, they are blown away by the care they get here. So the women were really happy to come and support us.
The College of Midwives is critical of the latest findings from Otago University. Donnelly says the job is wonderful but tough, involving long hours and difficult situations. She's hoping the general public appreciates midwives and all they do.
We work often in the hospital for nothing when they're understaffed and we're unable to hand over our care, so we actually do a lot of voluntary work in a high needs area where if something goes wrong we're responsible for it, although we're not paid for it. So yeah, we're pretty despondent.
The peaceful gathering wasn't about appointing blame or fighting over negative publicity, simply serving to give midwives a positive presence. Rosie Mannins, The South Today.
The practice of greyhound racing is coming under increased scrutiny from southern animal rights activists. A small group gathered in protest outside Dunedin's Forbury Park Raceway at lunchtime today, and more action is being planned.
Protesting the mistreatment of animals. Members of the Greyhound Protection League are wanting to see an end to dog racing in New Zealand. Emily Robertson is one of the New Zealand spokespeople for the group. She joined the cause after witnessing the harm done to a greyhound she adopted.
There's so much damage to her leg from racing that it just completely gave way, and that really highlighted to me that it was kind of like an industry that would more or less chuck dogs away like rubbish. And
Today's protest outside Forbury Park Raceway in Dunedin was a precursor to others planned for Auckland, Wellington and Christchurch. They're coinciding with the New Zealand Greyhound Racing AGM in Auckland. Robertson says New Zealand is one of the few countries to still allow greyhound racing, and so far it has been a challenge to change that.
Nathan Guy, who's the Minister for Racing, has kind of just got his head in the sand a little bit and is refusing to acknowledge any issues within the sport.
However, there has been some support for the cause from politicians at a national level, including Mojo Mathers of the Green Party. Protection League members are also being encouraged by recent developments in Australia.
New South Wales, which was the only state that really did an in-depth investigation into the racing industry after some pretty big allegations, they did act to ban greyhound racing.
The Dunedin Animal Rights Collective has also become involved with the effort. Members are hoping that with increasing public scrutiny of the industry, it's only a matter of time before the cause gains traction. Jack Conroy, The South Today.
After the break on The South Today, the former Otago man who brought us the term bird flu returns for a flying visit. And we'll take a look at what's in store weather-wise for Wednesday.
Emu oil has been used for centuries to support joint mobility and tired muscles. Also helpful for supporting healthy skin. Available as oil or in capsules. Go to www.silverhorn.co.nz to order emu oil today.
We need your help to rebuild our animal centre urgently. Please give a little today.
Hello, my name is Malcolm Dixon. I'm standing for the Dunedin City Council. I've been in retail for 40 years in Dunedin, and I would like to see some changes in the city. I'm passionate about growing business opportunities in Dunedin. Transport and parking issues are important to me, and flooding and management of city assets, especially in South Dunedin area, are a major issue. So remember to vote for Malcolm Dixon at Dunedin City Council.
Pregnant? Need to talk? 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Pregnancy counselling services are here to help. It's free, it's confidential. Call us now on 0800 773 462.
Hi, I'm Dave Cole, Mayor of Dunedin, and together we're building a great city, not just for now, but for the future. And I'm committed to creating a positive legacy of sensible investments, sustainable businesses, an emphasis on infrastructure and environment, healthier homes, and your community well-being. A future our kids can be really proud to inherit. If you want the same positive future, please mark 1 for Dave Cole for Mayor and return your voting form. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Anne Galloway and I'm standing for election to Dunedin City Council. I have lived and worked in Dunedin for 20 years and I'm very proud of this city. And I do know that at times there are very difficult decisions that need to be made. We need councillors who care about the people, about their issues such as healthcare, housing and an ageing population. Vote for me and I will do my best for you and for Dunedin.
Come one, come all to the Oamaru Victorian Heritage Celebrations, a year to reflect on the intriguing world of medicine in the Victorian era. 16th to the 20th of November, www.vhc.co.nz for more information.
Voting in this year's local body elections closes at noon on Saturday the 8th of October. Your voting papers must be in the hands of the electoral officer by this date and not in the mail if your vote is to count. If you've not enrolled or received your voting papers, you may still cast a special vote. Visit the DCC Customer Services Centre in the Octagon or phone 477 4000 before noon on Saturday the 8th of October. Remember, you have the right to vote. Don't be left out. Vote today.
Welcome back. Former Otago Professor Robert Webster is one of the people credited with tracking the H5N1 virus from waterfowl through pigs to humans. He's also one of those responsible for the term bird flu being in the world's vocabulary, and he's returning to university for a public lecture.
A proud Otago graduate, but a humble world leader of influenza research. Professor Robert Webster's back in the university centre named after him, to give a talk to budding microbiologists. He's been flown back to Aotearoa as a guest of the Webster Centre at Otago, and says lecturing in the facility isn't something he ever thought would happen.
Oh, it's a fantastic honour, something that I could never have believed as a young person going through the university here and beginning microbiology with Molly Marples.
He began researching microbiology in the 1950s after beginning his studies in chemistry. In 1997, Professor Webster was one of the researchers making the links between birds and influenza in humans.
Well, bird flu is very interesting because it showed really for the first time that the theories that we were putting forward, that the influenza viruses all come from the wild birds of the world, was correct.
Before his idea of flu coming from waterfowl was proved correct, he says people scorned his theory, although no one called him a quack to his face.
For about 20 years, people thought, well, this is one of those academic nuts who said, well, that the wild duck is the real source of influenza in the world. And the attitude was, well, yes, the ducks have influenza, but they don't spread it to humans, they don't spread it to chickens, so why should we worry?
His research wasn't legitimised until the bird flu pandemic of the late 1990s.
Then children started dying in Hong Kong. More children started dying. And then it was tracked to the chickens and then back to the ducks. And then the whole world started to listen that the real source of influenza was the aquatic birds.
His colleagues at St Jude's Children's Research Hospital in Memphis describe him as failing at retirement. To help prove them correct, Professor Webster's giving a talk on his research tomorrow evening at the University of Otago. Daryl Baser, The South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on The South Today. Building consents are down 65% in Southland due to the dairy slump, but there is a positive outlook for the region. Junior doctors across all southern DHB hospitals are planning to strike for 48 hours, aiming for better rosters. And Dunedin blind woman Julie Woods is embarking on a new broadcasting journey, sharing her love of Braille on the radio and online. It's time now for a look at what's happening in tomorrow's Otago Daily Times, and we're joined by editor Barry Stewart. Good evening.
Hello, Rebecca. Nearly forgot my name.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. I've been called many things. A Dunedin City Councillor has slammed climbing salaries at council-owned company Delta. The man promoting plans for an 18-storey five-star hotel in Dunedin says he's encouraged by the public reception. So that was a strong story in the paper this morning. We also explained the blueskin blanket. You may have seen it. It's a blanket of thick fog
flogging fog
that has brought gloom to the coast north of Dunedin.
Excellent.
Dunedin's voting returns are up from the same time in 2013. So that's an encouraging sign. Still a fair way to go, I would suggest, but
absolutely, and shows
we're tracking.
Shows that there's a bit of a desire for change, perhaps.
I don't know about that. When you're only looking at low 40s, that doesn't express a great desire for anything, really.
Oh, okay. Well, you're the expert. Details of tomorrow's
Unfortunately, we'd like 100% of people to vote that are eligible.
Yes, wouldn't
fairly.
that be wonderful?
Yes, indeed.
Thank you, Barry. That's tomorrow's ODT.
Thank you.
It's time now for tomorrow's weather.
The South Today weather update proudly brought to you in association with Silverhorns Emu Oil.
Here is today's southern view. It's taken of crosses at Queen's Gardens. Well, looking at the situation, and a cooler southwest flow will ease tomorrow, but the air flow is expected to remain west to southwest over the next few days with unsettled conditions for the rest of the week. And we're expecting some cloud with westerly winds for Balclutha, the Catlins, Gore and Lumsden, all going for a high of 14 tomorrow. Some cloud is on the cards for Alexandra and Wanaka, both on 15 degrees. Westerlies with some cloud in Queenstown with 14. The risk of showers for Te Anau with southwesters and a high of 13. And becoming fine for Oamaru and Timaru. Some cloud for Omarama and Twizel, 14 degrees for all of these towns. In Dunedin tonight, a bit of rain is possible, but it will clear. We're dropping to a low of 9. Tomorrow becoming fine with southwesters tending northeast and a high of 14. And on Thursday, fine at first, but scattered showers may develop later on. Southwest winds, 14 degrees. And in Invercargill tonight, a period of rain with a low of 7. Showers at first tomorrow, sunny periods increasing during the afternoon. Cool southwesters easing, 13 degrees. And on Thursday, it's going to be changeable with cloud and showers, but also sunny periods. And fresh westerlies, 14 degrees. And that is news from the south for Tuesday. We'll join you again tomorrow. Good night.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.